Rhonda here from Nelson Soapery. Today I thought let's get going. I'm going to show you how I make some bath bombs in the shape of donuts, of course. So inside here I have all my ingredients, which is some bicarbonate soda. The brown that you can see here is some kaolin clay. I also have some cream of tartar because you need that to keep your bath bombs beautiful and hard. And in my little container here I do have all these oils. So this is the amount of oils I would put in for about a 2 kilo mix to mine. So in here I do have 3 tablespoons of apricot kernal oil, 2 tablespoons of my scent. Make sure you check that your scent can go in here because they're all a little different, aren't they? 1 tablespoon of polysorbate 80 is also in here, making it absolutely gorgeous, and 1 tablespoon of jojoba oil. So let's get going, and we're going to do our next bit. So from here I'm going to put this onto my mixing machine. You can just have a little cheap one. Mine's only a cheapy one. It doesn't need to be a KitchenAid. Then we're going to mix it around, and then by mixing it and leaving it for about 5 to 6 minutes to mix on low, that way it will actually combine it all. It will squash down any of the lumps. Like you can see, there's a few tiny lumps because I've already pre-bloomed this into orange. So that's what I mean. You know, you just need to take your time, make sure that you've done everything right, and then you'll have really good success with these. So also to make this, I do need a few other things, so I'll show you these. So I've got this particular mold, and then I'm just going to pop this one inside. Obviously you pop the sticking one sticking up, or else everything would fall through the hole. So we're going to pop that in there, and once our mixture is ready, we're just going to sprinkle it in the top here, pop the lid on, and that is it. So today I'm going to make some gorgeous, beautiful botanical ones. So let's get going, and we're going to make some botanics, and I'll show you exactly how I do this in this beautiful mold. You can also use Cater molds as well. If you are using a Cater mold, you need to add 2 more tablespoons of apricot kernel oil because the Cater molds do like it to be a little bit more wet, whereas my mixture is always a little on the drier side. So do remember that 2 more tablespoons of apricot kernel oil in your mixture. You can change my oil for your own oils, but do remember every change you make may make it not work, or something may go wrong. So I just know with the oils I'm using that they work in Australia in a drier kind of climate. So anyway, like I said, let's get going. I'm going to pop this on the mixer, and I'm going to bring you back. You don't need to watch me pop this on the mixer. So I'm actually going to bring you back when we make all of these and we start putting them on the trays so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. Because honestly, the donut ones in this size, this is a big donut size. These ones are really hard to get out of the mold without cracking if you don't do it right. So let me get my measuring tape, and I'm going to measure this so I can tell you the size. And this one holds about 220 grams as well. So in here, we'll just measure this as well. So here it's almost, it's like 9.5 centimeters across. Or if you're in the US, because I think you guys use inches, it's 3 1/4 inch across. So it is a big mold. This is what a donut in Australia would look like, the size of our donuts here, our Krispy Kreme donuts. So and the fragrance that I'm using today is musk sticks, and this one is from Pure Candle Supplies. And I do lots of my donuts in that because then in your when you actually add your glazing, if you want to do glazing or cocoa or something on the top, you can change the scent by adding lavender or whatever you want, and then this is just the basis of the bottom of the donut. So that's what I like to do. But anyway, like I said, let's get going and I'll bring you back. I did bring you back, and I wasn't going to, just to show you, but this is how orange it's going to look. So we're just going to turn this all over. Once this is mixed in, I'm going to add in my citric acid. My citric acid would be 1 kilo and, you know, just over a kilo really. But do make sure all your colors mixed in super duper well as well. So that's something that I spend a bit of time because I can see that it's not totally mixed. So I'm going to keep going with this for about 5 minutes. All right, everyone, I am back. So in here, I do have my beautiful bath bombs. Now, one thing I thought I'd talk about here, I get a lot of questions about the color of my bath bombs. So I do get lots of people asking me, they always say, you know, like your bath bombs are super colourful, you know, but they're not too colourful. How do you achieve those colours? And the one thing that I'll tell you is I spend a lot of time mixing colours. You know, I mix different micas. I don't just use one straight dye. I usually use a number of dyes. So that way I get these vibrant, you know, gorgeous colours. And I mean, look how pretty that colour is. So, and to me, I wanted it an orangey colour, but I also wanted it to look a little bit like dough on a donut, because remember, we're going to be putting something on the top of this one. So anyway, that's why I thought, you know, look, I'll just show you all what I'm actually doing and how I'm making these for now. So, and we will do some glazed ones at the end, so I'll show you how to do glazing, and I'll also show you how to do floral glazing. And that means putting your flowers on top and getting them to stick and not fall off. So the trick with that is not putting them in when we're doing this now. There's a different way that you can do it as well. And there's so many different ways to do all of these things. So now you need to make sure you're holding it in your hand. You can see it's sticking together, so that's going to be fine. If you're making these, you know, for customers and they need to be a certain weight, every single time you will need to weigh this. And that's usually what I do. So I'm going to weigh them as we go along. So I just tear out my scale. So all you do is put this on your scale, then tear it out. So that way the scale knows what this is. So anything in it, it will just show you. So my scale is torn out with that on it. So at the moment my scale says -242, and that's because it's already measured what's in here as well. Hopefully that makes sense to everyone. So we're just going to, you know, put it in, don't sort of pack it, just lightly, and we'll see what it weighs. Which is pretty good. We want ours to be around the 200. So that's what they are now. So that's pretty good, isn't it? And now we'll just put on the top of the donut, which I couldn't find it. So of course it's like this. So we're just going to sit that on top here. Squish it down a tiny bit as well. And depending on the size of your bath bomb will depend how much we can squish it. So now we'll just move this aside so I can show you. And then of course I have my little press, which lots of you know I use. And I've had lots of people asking me, am I going to get one of the other special presses? No, I'm not at the moment. I definitely haven't thought about that. And now I'm just going to show you something as well. Can you see in the donut, if that gets stuck in there, it will not press down properly. So I usually just kind of dig it out. Yeah, it just doesn't like pressing if there's too much in it. So that's all we're going to do. And then of course we are going to press this out. If you have one of those little things to, you know, help press it out, you can do that. But honestly, the donut one will pretty much press out itself. If it's the round one, it's much, much harder to get out of the mold. Now that I've said that, I can't get it out. Although I did. So, and like I always say, if you can see this line, that is going to show you where our satin ring is going to be, or how big or small. So if you want the satin ring bigger, then you need to definitely put a lot in. So this will give a big satin ring, and I'll show you what it's going to look like, and it will look super professional. The thing is, if you want to sell these and you want to make money, you need to make them look professional. If they're not, no one's going to buy them. So now I just have a little knife. We're going to just tap it around the outside. Don't tap it on the top. If you start smashing the top, what actually happens is it will crush the satin ring. So only go around the outside really lightly. And I know it looks like I'm doing this heavy, but I'm not. I'm actually doing that really lightly. And now we're just going to take that off, and look how cute that looks. Now remember, because this is a bigger donut, it is going to squash it a little bit at the top, which is okay because the bottom's the main bit. So it's good. It's important to have it like this to put it on there, because if we try and put it on the tray with the bit that sticks up in the air, it's going to be hard and it will crack. So hopefully this works. And look, sometimes I get these to crack and I either sell them cheap or I just put it back in the mix and start again. So, you know, either when we tip it over, it's going to be hard. So I usually try and kind of hold it a little bit in my hand, like so. And then I just very, very carefully pull it off, and look how cute that looks. And if you can see this little tiny bit there, that's because my mold has a little break in the side of the mold, but I don't care about that. No one notices. So that's, if you can you see the little crack? But that doesn't matter. But look how gorgeous that looks. I mean, you have to say, this looks just beautiful. So we'll put this one aside. And of course, you know, to glaze them and that, we want these to sit here for quite some time. So do leave them. And as I said, if you can see that stuck in there, so we need to get that out. Otherwise it won't press very good. So just tap it to get that out. And once again, like I said, we will start the next one. So once again, my scale's already doing its thing. And remember, you don't have heaps of time to do it. So, and you really don't want to keep spraying it with witch hazel. That usually makes them not very good. So we'll just measure this again. So I know it is fairly good now. So let's just keep going. Like I said, once again, we will press them in here and then press them out. Like I said, if you have something, even if you don't have that, you know, special little push thing, you can even use something like this. Just sit it on the top and it will actually push it through. An old spice jar or anything's fine. If you're using the round ones, you'll need something skinnier than that. But that's just, you know, just something handy, isn't it, to show you. So once again, we'll tap it to take it out and then we'll put it on the mold and keep going. And then I will bring you back when I'm on to the next bit. So you can see how gorgeous they are. They're looking beautiful. And like I said, I'm going to bring you back tomorrow once these have dried a bit, and then we will start to do the next bit. So here they are all getting ready to wait, and these little hearts that I made the other day, we might just pop them onto these to do like a little bit of a lolly one as well. But don't they look so cute? I mean, I'm really happy with these ones. Sometimes, like everyone, we have a bad day and a bad bath bomb day, so don't worry if you do. I have those too, but for today it looks like a good bath bomb day. They've come out gorgeous. So at the end, I'm going to just do all the glazing on them, but I need to leave these for a little bit, and then I'll show you how gorgeous they're going to be. So all of these have been sitting here now for a day, so all of our bath bombs are looking absolutely beautiful. I am sure that you can agree. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do a cocoa and baking soda mix, and that way we can actually put our florals on top. So in here we've just got our cocoa. We're just going to melt this down, and then we're going to mix it. And then once we've mixed it, I've already mixed up my solution. So in here I have a number of different florals that I use. All of these are from registered suppliers, so you can't just get them from anywhere. They do need to be from suppliers. And down here this one is going to have some little candies on top, as well as these really cute little items on here. And then the last one is going to be a rose and lavender mix, and that's going to go on the top of these ones. So let's get started and I'll show you how to make it. So now I decided to do the voiceover because I had forgotten to do it on this bit. So let's go with the rose and lavender ones. So of course, like I said earlier, these bath bombs have been sitting here for a day. They do totally need to dry before you do this section. Don't try and do them when they're wet because it won't work out, because it can actually squash them down a little bit as well. So we've got our cocoa butter. We're just mixing that with some bicarbonate soda. Once we're happy with that, then we're just going to dip them in. Once again, it's really simple. Once they've dipped in, then we're going to dip it into our floral mix. So in my floral mix here, I have a tiny bit of calendula petals, some rose petals, and of course I do have some beautiful lavender buds as well. So they just look really beautiful. So I'll keep going with the next ones of this, and then we're on to the last ones, which of course are my candy must stick ones. So I'll bring you back in just a moment. Alright everyone, so let's go and do the drizzle and the flowers that we're going to be doing. So in here we do have some cocoa mix, and I hope that you can see the camera. Then of course we do have some polysorbate 80. if you don't put this in, it's not going to matter, honestly, because you've already put it into the bath bomb. So just put in a little bit. So in here, my cocoa, it's like half a cup. And then the spoon that I'm using is half a teaspoon. So you don't need a lot of this, but just to make sure, because remember we are putting micas and so on in here. And you can use less or more of this than you like. You can also put in some fragrance oil if you want. I'm just going to put in a few drops, not much at all, for this particular one. So make sure you're using the same one that's in the bath bomb so it smells nice. Give it a mix. And now what we're going to do is be putting in the bicarbonate soda. So behind me here, I do have some still in here, which it's already in green. So I thought I'll just leave it in here because I have pre-bloomed this. So it's going to be a very similar color, but you can put plain in. It doesn't have to be green. It can be totally and utterly plain. And you're going to need quite a bit because basically this is going to be like glue. We want this to create almost like a glue kind of effect. And then the glue type substance, it's actually going to, you know, make our flowers and everything stick. So the consistency, like I said, needs to be like clag glue or a bit thicker than PVA glues, you know, that little medium kind of thickness. So I'm just going to mix it. Make sure you mix it and you try and get all your lumps out, because then what we're going to do is pour it into this small tray here. And then once it's in the tray, what we're going to do is we're going to just dip it into here, and then the leaves will stick on top. So here I have it. Hopefully you can see my little camera because I know this is in the way. And then these are the leaves that we're going to use. And in that, all I do have is a number of different ones. So I have the blue cornflower, then I have calendula petals. And in that, I also do have some chamomile. So, and you know, once this comes out in the bath, it's going to just feel absolutely beautiful. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit more because you can see it's a bit watery now. So let me just get my bucket. So really I'm putting in like 3 of these big sort of kitchen spoonfuls in. But like I said, it depends how you want it. And if you wanted to make this so that it was almost like piping mixture, so that it was much, much thicker, then you wouldn't add as much as what I've added in here. So like I said, just you know, kind of mix it up. And this is looking much better. So like I said, it needs to be a little bit thicker. So we'll just kind of mix that in. There's no right or wrong. You can't do it wrong, but just try and get the lumps out. Although it's not that important because the lumps aren't going to be seen. So now in here, I'm just got my little lid, and this is what I do. I just pour a section of it into a lid like that. And now I'll show you how easy this is. Just going to get our bath bomb. We're just going to dip it straight into here. And then this is going to be almost like glue, and then dip it straight into the petals. And there you go, the petals are stuck on top. And that's it. That's literally all you need to do. You can also add a clear one over the top if you want the flowers to stick and not fall off. But honestly, most of these will not fall off because this glue type you know, thing that we've just made here makes it really, really thick. So yeah, literally this is what I'm going to do with these ones here, because this is my water lily spa particular bath bomb, which is really, really beautiful. And doesn't it look so cute? And you know, it's easier than you think. So when you see those bath bombs for $10 and $15, that's what it is. They're basically just doing what we're doing here. But, you know, of course, you know, it's the same as me. You've got to run a business, so it does cost money. So you can't blame people for charging that amount. They have to run a business. And, you know, like obviously people buy my products too. It's the same thing. So just keep mixing it in between because you don't want to have all the bicarb settle to the bottom. So we're going to keep going with this one, and then I will show you the next one, because after this I'm going to put candies on the next one. So they're all going to be so pretty, aren't they? And then I do have a lavender and rose one at the end that we're going to do as well. Look, you could actually even pour this straight onto the bath bomb mixture if you really wanted to. But I don't really do that. I just sort of dip it the way I'm doing it now. And I might need to actually mix up some more flowers soon. So yeah, if you wanted to do it the other way, this is literally all you'd be doing, just going around the top. So, you know, just kind of smoothing it around, but it's much harder to do this because sometimes it dries before you get to that. Because do remember, you can't sit this here for long. You need to kind of work fast with it because it will dry really, really fast. And once again, like I said, press down into the flowers too, so that way it's going to look really gorgeous, and hopefully you love them because I think they look absolutely darling. So I'm going to bring you back in a moment when I'm up to the next one.